Yo, what is going on, Krusty Crew? Welcome back to another episode of whatever the hell we're calling this channel. Um, it is like midnight, and I don't know. I felt like I needed to make a video. It's just time. It's time. I was thinking a lot about this Zoroark deck. Guys, this Zoroark deck is so ominous to so many of us, and I want to get to the bottom of it. And it hit me at a very inopportune time. I have a client meeting tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I just watched Josh Allen get decimated on Thursday Night Football, but it's the right time to talk about Zoroark. So let's break it down. I might turn this into a series where maybe we learn the deck together and we go through all of the natural notions that come with learning a deck and becoming a master of a deck. So this Zoroark deck, right? Let's talk about it. If you ever picked up this Zoroark deck, at first, if you had no guidance, you were probably just completely dumbfounded at how it wins. You see great players do well with this deck, and consistently too. It's not a fluke. Liam Halliburton, Piper Lapine, to name a few. These players are always doing well with this deck, and they write guides, they make YouTube videos, or whatever they do, and the deck still does not pick up steam. So why is that? And it has really gathered my attention in the last little bit. And as somebody who doesn't have a major coming up, somebody who's just kind of playing to play right now, I am really interested in learning this deck. So before Las Vegas, I was talking to Piper and she sent me her guide. And so I was looking at her guide and reading it, and I was struggling. I couldn't pick it up, and I consider myself to be a pretty good hard deck player, for lack of a better term. Like somebody who really enjoys the hard decks and thrives in playing them, but I can't figure this one out. And I wanted you guys to come on this journey with me to figure out what the hell is going on here. How are we winning games? What are we doing? Consider it a walk through the park of maybe preparation for a tournament and learning a hard deck. So to put this into perspective, I did the exact same thing right before Worlds with Gardevoir. I was very novice to Gardevoir. I have a Gardevoir day 2 like from a year and a half ago with the old version of Gardevoir, but the new version without reversal energy and the Shiny Arcana Gardevoir, I was never really able to pick up. So I tasked myself with the idea of learning it. I tasked myself with just simply figuring it out and becoming one of the best players with Gardevoir. It took me 2 months of ongoing struggle and playing it to every single locals and trying to just make sense of it. But when I got it, I got really good with it. And so that's what I want to do here. And I'm hoping if you guys come along on this ride with me, that you'll also come to this place. So what you're going to see here is a real authentic deck learning experience, for better or for worse. I think it's important to be pure and honest. And if I'm playing like a donkey, we're going to leave it in there. It's all part of the learning experience. I want to walk through every card with you guys. I want to like really settle in on what this deck is and why it's good. And maybe we can go through that together. All right. So let's make a quick cut. I'm going to get some sleep, and then we're going to come back tomorrow when I'm refreshed. And we're going to talk about this deck a little bit and just figure this out. All right, guys, welcome back. It is actually not tomorrow morning. It is tonight because I'm locked in. I want to figure this thing out once and for all right here, right now. So I loaded up new deck 106, everyone's favorite new deck, to talk about what this is. So what we're looking at here, and I hate the fact that you can't expand this client to show you the full thing. But anyways, this is Liam Halliburton's second place list from Las Vegas. So let's look at it. Let's break it down. Let's really understand where we're starting from, and it'll help us understand where we're going. So I have played this deck a couple times. I have not played a list like this yet. So this is a 2/2 Darmanitan line, so it's a little bit thicker of a line. We have the bear in here, which I really like, but we only have one Monkey Dory. So the Monkey Dory shenanigans are going to be at a minimal here. Obviously, very integral card to our deck, but what we have to figure out is with this build with one Reshiram, how are we winning games? And I think that's the hardest part with Zoroark, because it's not black and white almost ever. I find that to be the difficult part, where you're just learning how to get to those winning positions, basically. On paper, you're like, this sucks. My damage cap is 170 if my opponent's not hitting into me. And if not, I have a 90-90 attack, but like I'm discarding all my energies and I gotta do this again. So let's have a look through this list. There's a Watchtower. There's a Black Belt's training, so we can reach for some more numbers. We've got a Pokegear in here, of all things. Which I find to be particularly curious, because I would personally just bump up a count of a supporter, but I guess the Pokegear makes a lot of sense because you don't know what you want when you want it. We have a Pow, we have a Power Glass, which I'll be honest, I don't understand fully yet. I am assuming we just put a Power Glass on the Zoroark and Darmanitan and then Power Glass it back on. Like, that seems pretty strong. Maybe that's what we're doing. Arvin, we got one copy. We got one copy of Vent Castle, one copy of TM Evo. This list is everywhere. This list is all over the place. We have 7 darks and 2 reversals. And we're going to have to figure this thing out. I think I've read Piper's Guide, like I said. So I have like a basis of what we're doing, but I still find it a little bit difficult a lot of the time to pilot this deck. So what I want to do, let's hop into the illustrious Houndoom League. Let's play a couple games just to like kind of get a feel for what this deck really is. And I think for people who've never played Zoroark, there is a huge learning curve. So that is myself as well. Like, I barely touched this deck. I'm going through that learning curve right now. So I'm hoping that us playing together can help us go through it together. So we want to go first in almost everything. That I do know. There are very few matchups which, in case we want to go second. I believe the only one would be Dragapult, would be the one we want to go second in, just to prevent the Badoo. And I'm sure that would apply to any other decks that go Badoo as well. So let's see. We start off with the Zorua. We have the Darmok on the bat, or in the hand, sorry, and we have the Secret Box. So that's really good. That's really strong, provided we don't get item locked here. If you're new here, you want to stay tuned for the series of what this is. Please do subscribe and like it. It's helped a lot. Just kind of starting my channel off now, and as you guys can tell, I got a lot of passion right now. We're really pumping out some videos here, so I'm having a good time. So if you want to stick around, please do like and subscribe. All right, we got a Pekarunt on our opponent's side. Jutsu might be playing against Mirror. I'm not 100% sure, but a Pekarunt probably means we're okay and don't have to worry about Badoo. So let's set up our board. So we don't have a Monkey Dory this game. We do have a Reshiram. We do have an Ursaluna. We do have a Pekarunt. We have our Black Belts. And everything else is whatever. We're prized 1 of each energy. That's cool. The only debate right now is, are we playing the Secret Box in fear of getting item locked? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to end my turn. So I'll go over the things I do understand as we go through here. So I can provide some insight on what I have learned and what I picked up from watching and stuff. So the one thing that is very important in Zoroark is your bench management, right? We don't play many ways to manipulate our bench, so we have that 1 Turo, but that's about it. Typically, we want our 3 Zoroarks. We want our 1 attacker, whether that's Darmanitan or Reshiram, whatever it is. Normally, in the old version at least, you wanted a Monkey Dory. I don't know about this version anymore. And then you could have a Flex Pokemon. So that Flex Pokemon used to be like Fetch, or Yveltal, or something like that. And like, we're no longer there with the Yveltal. Looks like we're playing against Mega Absol, by the way. But yeah, so that's the main idea. Now, as for Liam's list, so a lot of the lists played Okie Dokie to deal with this deck, this Mega Absol deck. I'm not sure how Liam's list is supposed to handle this deck. There's no like one answer here. I'm sure he had some sort of strategy. I mean, they can't one-shot our Zoroarks for the most part, but it definitely feels a little bit weaker without the Okie Dokie. So let's see what we can do here. Our opponent got the God start. So it's just like Arvin for Turbo Energize plus Crawly. The whole thing is set up. And like in theory, we could be in a lot of danger here. Debating on putting down that Dark Monster. I think it's not a bad shout, just because we probably won't need Monkey in this matchup too much. We are going to have to play the Secret Box, provided we don't trade into anything we want. So let's hit the trade here. We no longer need the Zorua, so we can get rid of that. We got another Zoroark, so we can get going here. What we really would love here is to discard an energy so we can end PP up and get a hit in on this Kangaskhan. I guess we're Secret Boxing. Let's get going here. I hope this list doesn't play Vessel. Okay, I didn't see that one coming. Maybe we put the Lilies then first before we go for that. It kind of sucks. Okay, is there anything else we can do here? Anything else we can make of this hand? We have the one of Ultra Ball. We can definitely get down another Zoroark with that. I think that's probably a good shout. Basically just Secret Box for a supporter there. Let's go ahead and play down the Watchtower. That feels strong. I don't feel a pressing need to put this Air Balloon on this active as much as I would like to. I just don't want to discard 2 boss. So let's go ahead and get that Zoroark here. Pekarunt is in deck. So our goal here is to get energy plus PP up plus Pekarunt. We got energy. So let's go ahead and we can nest ball that pack around first. Thinning is winning. So we do have the... Oh, actually, I guess we had Dense Castle. We already put the support, so it didn't matter. Getting down the pack around this matchup isn't bad anyways because they play Yveltal. So there's the NPP up, so very nice. We do have an attack of some sort. And we have another trade. Love to get down Russia Rim here if possible. No dice. So now we got to think, is there a point in hitting this 450? Can it hurt us? Not really, because it's not enough to terminal period. So I think we're okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, as for what this 50 damage does for us, to be honest, not a whole lot. But let's use a flare. Let's see where we at. Brings it down to 250. I don't foresee a world where that damage is relevant. Yeah, because they're hitting us for 200 minimum all the time anyways. It's just 400 with Reshiram. Maybe Bear plus Monkey Dory at some point. Like, it's just like I'm grasping at straws here to make some sense of this, but it is better than not attacking, I think. And maybe that's where my understanding has a gap. I don't know what Piper or Liam would do in that situation. I barely played this deck, but that's why we're here. We're here learning. And what we'll do after every game, we're going to sit back, we're going to go back through, not like the log, but we'll just kind of sit there and figure out, like, what did we do right? What did we do wrong so far? So maybe we can reflect so far. We played the secret box in hopes of getting the energy down. We ended up not getting the Reshiram. That was a piece that I failed to account for. We bombed a Turo, which might come back to bite us if there's an Yveltal on something and our Pecorant is dead. Other than that, I feel pretty good with where we're at. Our reversal's gone. We have one left, but I don't imagine our Manitan being super useful in this matchup. So far, so good, I think. The most likely outcome here is we get the 30 put back on us, and then we get Claw of Darkness. And as for what they'll discard, I'm not sure. And if they do Claw of Darkness us, then we're going to return KO with Reshiram. So I don't know if that's the play here. Like, I don't, like, as much as I don't know what our strat is into this matchup without Okidogi, I also don't know what their strat is into this matchup. It doesn't seem very good for either side, to be honest. So see what we can do here. See what our opponent does. I think that's what I'm more curious about right now. Okay, so it's a pass. So that does make sense. It's going to allow us a free hit into something. We have the stretcher. Let's get some trades going. I think we want to go for a boss's orders here if we are able to. Go ahead and get rid of that. Because at this point, I don't want to say we're happy to trade 2 for 2 or 2 for 3, but like, I definitely think it's fine. Like, if we go 270 to the Absol and they return KOS with terminal period, I feel like we're okay with that trade-off. So we have the Artisan in hand. Strong card. We need to find the boss. I really don't like bumping the Watchtower here, given that they did, like, next to nothing. But we're going to do it anyways. Let's thin out, grab that Resh. Cool. And now we hope our gear hits the boss. We only have 15 cards in deck. We did get a boss. Fantastic. We can drag up. Well, there's also an argument to be made here that we should go for the monkey, because then they can never KO us back. And maybe this is part of the learning curve. Like, to me, in my mind, as like a Pokemon player, I'm going and I'm slapping this Absol for 170 because it's their only threat with energies on the board and they can't replace it. But then we're accelerating the game into a place that we're not controlling it anymore, where they can return KOS. I think the correct play is to KO the Monkey. You could also argue the correct play is to KO the Latias. Either one I think is fine, but I think Monkey Dory is more relevant here. Just thinking on if we want to do anything else. There's going to be 30 on us. We're going to clear their board of damage so they won't be able to Monkey Dory back in the terminal period here. I think we're okay to do this. Famous last words, I guess. So we're going to tick to 3 now. and then they can hit us for, bring 20 back over, bring us to 5, hit us for 200, that brings us to 250, then we tick to 6, so we tick to 260. I don't foresee a world where we can get knocked out here, I don't think. And this is the part about Zoroark that took me a few games to understand. Times like that, like I said, I was going to tunnel and just KO that Absol. And I think that's like, or not KO the Absol, but damage the Absol. I think that's fine in a certain set of circumstances. But this is probably not one of them. Like, I think part of the whole, like, and Zoroark mojo is that you're kind of a control deck in a way too, right? Like, I got to be in control of my own board state. And I remember Piper, like, hyping on that a little bit. Harping on that. I'm like, it's 12:30. I'm losing my mind. Yeah, harping on the fact that it is, like, kind of controlling. Like, you do have to be in control of what your board does. We get a Bravery Charm going down on this Absol here. They're likely going to just try and get us to hit something, I think. We have 2 bosses gone, which is definitely far from ideal. We should have 1 left in the deck, plus our pal pad, so hopefully we can go ahead and get that. I would like, at some point, to take this KO on the Latias. I think that's definitely on our to-do list. This is so interesting. This deck is like just like a fun puzzle. A puzzle that I normally find that it's hard to figure out, but let's see what they do here. So they do hit us with the Claw of Darkness, and I'm like, personally, I'm extremely surprised at this. I don't know why you would want to do this. And our Darmanitan is when that goes. Okay. We are able to return KO this, like, easily. We have the Stretcher, so let's get back that Darmanitan while we can. Maybe they're thinking about moving 20 back over next turn and then letting us die to poison. Like, I think that's probably where they're going with this. But I don't... And again, this might be a learning curve moment, but I don't see why that would hurt us. Because if they go down to 4, we basically will have 2 turns to KO this Latias to win the game. So I personally don't see the issue here. Am I missing something? Maybe. I don't know. I would also... I guess I don't care about Iona right now. Let's play this Lilies. Let's see some more cards here. I feel like we just drew the exact same hand. Let's pal pad in some Boss's Orders. And let's trade. So this is the next, like, important part of the deck, I guess, is, like, just trading through the stuff that you don't want. So now we can get rid of, like, all this junk. Like Body Poffin, like ends PPF, and like we want to get to a state where our deck is exactly what we want it to be and nothing else. The discard here. Do we ever need Black Belt's training? Yes, we might. We're gonna get rid of the Arrow instead. Let's play that PP up. Put that on there, and we're gonna learn for better or for worse if this is the right play. Because, yeah, so... Oh, I just dropped half a stack of cards on the floor. Cool. Yeah, so they're going to go and take the 2 prizes here, almost for sure. And then we have 2 turns to find Boss on the Latias and kill it. Okay, so they did concede, so I guess we did do the right thing. It is so interesting just to see, like, how many game states this can get in. So let's look back at what happened here. We took the Monkey Dory KO in a time where I thought it may have been correct to hit the Absol, which... I'm glad I stopped myself because that was definitely not correct. So we killed the Monkey Dory. That was our first prize. So our prize map was going to be 1, 2, 3. I think their fatal mistake was hitting our Zoroark. But then on the contrary to that, if they don't hit our Zoroark, I don't know how the game ever advances in a way that they win. Eventually we just draw boss and kill Latias, and they're in a spot where they can never hit us, right? Yeah, okay, interesting. Let's see where this goes. Are we in Goldengo League now? Galvantula League? Yeah, we're so back. We're in Poke League, but at least we're in Galvantula League now. That's so lit. Okay, Give me a sec. We'll be back. We'll get into some more games. All right, let's get into another game here. I just got into a second game, and it was some guy playing like Badoo. Oh my god, we hit him again. I'm so disgusted with myself. I started Reshiram Pass, and I know I said I'm going to keep everything in the video, but trust me, you didn't want to watch that. It was just Reshiram Pass, and this person took like a 4-minute turn just building up their whole bench just to use a Badoo at the end. Like, there was like a Mew EX, there was like 4 Ogre Pawns, and then bro went in Itchy Pollen, and I had nothing, and there was like 4 minutes off the clock. I said, whatever, I'm scrapping this out of the video. What I was explaining earlier is this will be the last video for this episode, or the last game for this episode. There's no way we're starting Reshiram again, but at least our hand's playable. Last game for this episode. I want to keep these episodes short so we can keep pumping out more and kind of like accelerate that learning curve. But definitely, it is really, really cool to see how every single game we're learning something so brand new with this deck. I think this deck is super cool, and I'm really, really still excited to learn this. Not sure if we're going first or second here. Looks like we're going first. Okay. So now that I know what their deck is, I will be playing around it in that sense. So let's use all the trainers that we possibly can. We got the 4 Zoruas, we have our Darmakas, 4 Zoroarks, Power Glass, Watchtower. All right, we're in a good spot here. I don't care about playing the Artisan because I know they don't play anything that I care about. Next turn we have the Zoroark attach, hopefully find a Pekka-Runt. The one thing I really don't like about Liam's list, and I know I'm very novice at Zoroark, so I don't know if I am entitled to an opinion here, but I don't like that it doesn't play Cyrano. I find Cyrano is like just such a good card just to get going. Like, if we had a Cyrano in our hand, we just find Pekka-Runt by itself, right? Like, find Pekka-Runt and a couple Zoroarks. But because we don't have a Cyrano, and because this deck doesn't play Cyrano, we're going to be kind of stuck. In a sense, just trying to find it naturally. Artisan's going to be for the Badoo. Thankfully, we know what this person is playing. I just hope they don't take as long this time to play out their turn. Got a Teal Dance coming here. It's like a weird, like, there was like a Sandy Shocks and like there's lightning and a fighting energy, but I never saw a Raging Bolt, so I don't know. And they're playing Lily instead of like Sada and stuff, so I don't really know what's going on here. But they have a high elo, so, well, I mean, higher than me, which is not really saying much right now because I don't play, but we'll see what's going on here. My buddy just texted me saying, oh wait, I probably shouldn't say that word on YouTube. He's saying he's very displeased and is on a certain sort of depressive watch after watching the Bills tonight. It's so funny. Dudes are so dramatic. I'm the same way. Like, when my team loses, I'm like, yo, I'm going to end it all. But like, this is a team that we don't even, like, they don't even know we exist, man. We invest our whole lives in them. It's kind of hilarious how it goes up and down like that. It's the same way that, like, your girl will watch Love Island and get all worked up. I guess we're just all weak in our own ways. We got a Lily for 8 again in this strange deck that I don't understand. There goes the Sandy Shocks. That Altart is fresh, though. I gotta say, that Altart is sick. We got a Nest Ball. Maybe we'll finally see what their deck is about. Maybe. Probably not. Is it? Oh. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say it's an Ogre box, but like there's a lightning energy and there's a fighting energy and now there's a water energy. What the hell is going on here? If you're this person, I don't want to say your name just because, like, I'm going to butcher it, but if you're this person, please explain to me what's going on here. Like, if you somehow find this video, I need an explanation as to what your deck is, because I don't understand what this is. We're going to get itched, as we thought. Cool. All right, we didn't get turn 1 Torrential Plump, which I am thankful for. The rulebook says we're supposed to not Artisan yet, so let's go ahead and Lily. Cool. Now we Artisan to get out everything that we want. Might it be a terrible position to get a monkey, actually, instead of a 3rd Zorua? Yeah, I think I like that better. Let's go ahead and trade. I don't think we're going to need Darmanitan at all in this game. I think I prefer this. So the only water Pokemon they were playing was the Squawk I saw. I think I'm going to put some damage on here instead of the Badoo. I'm getting the hint that their deck does not play any other one prizers besides Badoo. I am going off that. I think that's what they do. And I'm going to vibe by that. If not, then I'll eventually take out this Badoo. But I don't think they're ever going to give us a chance to even up the prizes, so we're going to go around it. In hopes that eventually, if they hit us enough times, we're going to be one Monkey Dory away now from getting it into that 170 range with Fortuitous Flame. So that feels good. Liam's version of this deck is definitely very interesting. There's a reason why he's so good with it. I'm not questioning it. But it's definitely interesting. And it's definitely different from what I've played and seen so far. So we're learning. And one of the things I picked up from Piper's Guide, and like, I can't speak highly enough about this guide. You guys should go like look at it or buy it or whatever. Is she said the iterations of Zoroark are just as important on playing it as playing it itself. Going into a tournament and understanding like, okay, XYZ is the metagame. This is how I have to change my Zoroark deck, is apparently really, really important, which I understand because they're all so different. And to get to that point to understand it, you got to understand what the deck is. So I'm trying not to pass judgment on what these decks are and what they're comprised of, more so just like the main deck until I start to understand what this deck is about so that I can start making those decisions for myself, if that makes sense. So we got a Raging Bull hitting the field. We got a Crispin. This deck is just ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. There's so many things happening. So we have a Crispin. It looks like something is getting KO'd here. I'm just hoping there isn't a Prime Catcher in my feature. Doesn't seem awful for our opponent just to go for a Torrential Pump here. But they're not going to. Yeah, guys, this matchup is awful. I say this matchup as if I know what this deck is. But like Raging Bolt in general is just a terrible, terrible matchup because they never put damage counters on us. They can one-shot us at all times, and we have no real way of dealing with that. Curious to see what energies they discard. Okay, so it's those two. I think my Hunter is correct in saying we'll never put down anything but that Badoo. Okay, that's cool. I like that. Go with the Buddy Pop. Let's just know there's another Zorua. Let's see what our options are here. So, we do have the Bear and we do have the Pekarunt. So those are two ways that we can take some cheap, pacey prizes. I don't know if Liam's build plays Energy Switch. I don't think it does. Which is going to make this kind of difficult for us. But let's keep that in our back pocket. I think getting down a Pekarunt with an Energy is not a bad idea at some point here. Fill that Artisan. Do we care about getting up to Darmanitan? Maybe we do, actually. That's interesting. Because Backdraft might actually be able to get us a prize at some point. For now, we'ul go for the Reshiram. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go for the Counter Catcher and KO this Latias. I think that's the right thing to do. We have the Stretcher. I don't think we need the Ultra Ball anymore. As much as I would love to get out that a Zoroark here. I think the correct play is to go for the Counter Catcher here. CC, the Hourglass, or sorry, the Power Glass. We have Ents Castle, Air Balloon. I think we'll keep that Power Glass in case we get Bear up. And support doesn't matter, we will lose it. Let's kind of get to that Latias. Debating on Air Ballooning this thing. I don't think we need to. Probably Air Balloon this guy to have a pivot next turn. Nah, we have to run, who cares? Alright, we have the second Zoroark, we got a third Zoroark, we have a Pekarunt. Alright, so we have some pieces here. So let's get going. Perhaps pre-benching that Pekarunt is not correct, but we'll learn. Let's trade away this. Let's trade away something else. I think Darmok is fine. Alright, so we have the Power Glass, we have the Palpad and the Pokegear, all its playable cards. Don't think the Palpad's doing much for us right now. Let's go ahead and take this 2-prize KO. So our line would be a lot easier if there was Energy Switch here. Maybe we could go for a Pekarunt to hit 180 on something. But I guess there's not really any targets here, is there? The good news is we're going to have an extra turn because they're at 5 prizes. So regardless, they need 3 more turns to take the win. We need 2. That being said, I don't like our odds of getting into a favorable prize race here just because of the fact that we are going to need to 2-shot something before we can go in with a bear. So that's difficult. Mind you, in the same breath, I don't think their deck is particularly good at chaining Raging Bolts, given that they don't have Owls or really any sort of consistency, it seems. So they are going to be reliant on this Crispin and like maybe a Sada at some point, but they're... Whoa. What's going on here? We getting pumped? Oh, that's not good. I forgot we don't like green people. That's not good. Okay, all right. I see what you're doing. Picking up what you're putting down here, opponent. Cool. So all my unspoken have no retreat costs. Just want to make sure I read that correctly. What is our game plan here? How do we deal with this green thing? So 3, so we need 2 energies on a bear to make it work. Which means we're too early for bear. We physically can't use it. Darmanitan would be really nice right now, wouldn't it? Alright, well, let's Iona them down, I think. So let's go... This is probably going to be a pass of a turn. So I'm going to take the safe attach there. I don't hate putting something up with a Power Glass on it. There are 3. Let's make them go through this peck around. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. I probably should have nest balled for bear, but I didn't want to give away what we were doing there. So we hit the ends PP up. We could attack for 170 here if we wanted to, if we thought it made some sense. Is there a world where that ever makes sense? Like, maybe if we got the Darumaka down, we can make it make sense somehow. Where you hit it for 170, and then you hope you get the Darmanitan plus reversal plus monkey onto the other one. Like, it just seems so far-fetched that it doesn't make sense. I'm going to err on the side of caution here. Let's put up this patch. And I think we can play the NPP up pretty comfortably now. Let's spread it so that they can't... I guess they can KO us with 1 either way, can't they? Yeah, they can. So let's just... I guess we still spread it. In case we get KO'd in our... No, I guess at that point we'll just retreat the monkey. Okay. It's not great, guys. It's not great. I'm gonna be honest. What? They must not have had a way out. Or they were tired and wanted to go to bed. It's not a great way to end the video, but you know what? That's it. It is what it is. I think in that game, so if we look back at that game, like, the whole idea of Zoroark is to take control of the board. That's a game where we cannot take control of the board. There's no way we're going to survive a bunch of Raging Bolts just smacking us. And I think what ends up happening is sometimes you have to play this like 2-2-2 pace war, right? And like that makes sense. That's consistent to a lot of decks in the format. It's just with Liam's build of the energy switch, I think it becomes a little bit more difficult. So in that situation, that last turn where we passed with Petch, if we had an E switch, we could have killed with a bear, right? Because they already took 3, so our bear only took 2 to attack. So we could have killed with a bear there, and that would have greatly accelerated what the prize race would be. I think for that reason, I do like Energy Switch. I'm not at a place yet where I'm going to tinker with the list. I think maybe we'll do that at the start of next episode. We'll like have a look at this. This card seems questionable to me, but I also do understand why it exists. This card, I don't know about. Then again, I'm not Liam, so take what I say with a grain of salt. I do love the 7 darks. Feels like we're not missing dark anymore. But let's start at the next video. I can't speak, bro. It's like so late. Let's start at the start of next video by editing the list and just seeing what we like, what we don't like. I think what I've learned today is that I like Energy Switch. And I think the other thing that I've learned is that this deck has a lot of different ways to win. It's not as linear as the deck looks. You look at this Pokemon lineup and you're like, okay, I'm winning in the same way every game probably with this like Reshiram, hope they hit me and I blow them up back or whatever, but there are a lot of ways to win. And I think that's what I'm getting out of this. I want to know what you guys learned. Let me know what you learned down below about this deck. If you're excited to continue on this journey with me, let me know down below. This is something that I anticipate doing until I get the deck. I understand it. I do pick up decks kind of fast sometimes, so I'll try and slow it down, but I think we're on a good path so far. Like, I'm starting to feel less stupid with this deck, so that's a good start. Appreciate y'all being here with me. Like I said, like and subscribe if you're new here. Check out the Ship Here podcast. That's all I got. That's all the shilling I got. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one in episode 2. Peace out.